Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. It is the beginning of 2018 for this year, and we do have the top Nintendo Switch games of the year, which is personally selected by myself. And the games that I've played are not ones that I obviously haven't played or anything like that. Now, some honorable mentions. Oddly enough, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon did not make it, so it's not going to be a top 10 Switch slash 3DS games. And I didn't get to play Metroid Samus Returns, which was sad, and Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So there were some games that I either didn't get to play or didn't quite get in the top 10. So it's a bit sad, but that's what happens, I guess, with life sometimes. So at number 10 is Fast RMX. It's a racing game, very much like F-Zero. It was a fantastic game that I enjoyed playing, and it was under another name, and I can't quite remember it, sadly, for the Wii U. And it worked well on the Wii U, but on the Switch it works perfectly well. You can play with the Joy-Cons out, and tabletop mode is fantastic while you're on the bus or something like that. So that came out during the launch time period, and it was a fantastic game. It was really, really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. At number 9 is Nintendo's own ARMS. As you know, ARMS was a very interesting boxing game with the long arms going, and I liked all the characters and all the updates that it eventually got after quite a few months being out, about 6 months or so. Sadly, I think it suffered from not having enough features, like the party crash thing that happens every few weeks wasn't around at launch, and a number of characters weren't even there. It was something like 10 characters at launch and the limited stages and that. All the different arms was pretty cool, and the gameplay mechanics is fine, but some people might think it's a bit lacking. But I enjoyed it enough for it to squeeze into my top 10. So go and check out the game if you like. Now, number 8 is Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap, which is a fantastic remake of that game, which came out, I think, for the Sega Master System era. And I do remember the original a little bit, but this is a cool game where you can play with the updated graphics or the 2D spiral sort of pixelated artwork, which is fantastic. So you can switch between the artworks, and it is a very faithful remake of the game, which I enjoyed quite a lot. I played it right until the end, and it was a fantastic game, and it's definitely worth the price for that. Coming in at number 7 is Graceful Explosion Impact, I believe the whole title is, and that is a fantastic game as well. Now, I do have it on the Switch currently, and it's basically like the shooting game, and you get power-ups and things like that, and you're going around these sort of organism sort of systems, and it's just a really fantastic game. And I can't find it. And it is a really cool game. It's available for a good price on the eShop. That's another indie eShop only title, and the second one in the group. And it was really, really cool. So I really enjoyed it, and I go and buy it. It's a good game. It's a really good game. Go and get it. It's a great little shooty game. And number 6 is Splatoon 2, talking about shooters. This is your more, I guess, somewhat mainstream one, except it's not bullets, it's ink. It's a well-made sequel. I've piled in a whole bunch of hours. I've kind of quit the game for the time being. It was still a lot of fun to play that game and to get those things out and about. So yeah, Splatoon 2 is great with local multiplayer and playing it online, and with the handheld mode. It's really, really fantastic. Some of the upgrades is good for Splatoon 2. Maybe they didn't go quite as far as not too many new features for the game, but I think people are happy to see the series is definitely alive and well, according to the sales. We are now reached number 5. Number 5. And it is Stardew Valley. It is sort of the spiritual successor to the game Harvest Moon for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and this is fantastic. You can look after chickens and cows and pigs and all that sort of stuff, and grow your crops and get to know the town and all that sort of stuff. And this game's been out for a couple of years, and it was released on the Nintendo Switch. Never played it before, and I really had a lot of fun. It's for a good price, 25 bucks or so, if I remember, on the Australian eShop, and it is a fantastic farming simulation game. It is the best one in the world. I say currently is the best one. So go and grab it if you haven't. It is a top seller on the eShop all the time. Coming in at number 4 is Skyrim Elder Scrolls number 5. This has been released on everything, and I think for pretty good reasons too. And this allows Skyrim to be portable. I was a huge fan of it for the PS3, and I got into it for the PS4, and then kind of stopped when I heard there was going to be a Switch version coming out. I thought, I'll just wait for that version to come later on. And it was fantastic. I was very, very happy about it, and I was very pleased about just playing it portable. And I think that's the big appeal of the Switch this year, is sort of having that ability to play all those types of games on the go. So I had a lot of fun with Skyrim, 80 hours plus, again, like Breath of the Wild, and that will continue to clock up into next year with all the other games that we'll try to play for 2018. Number 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's my favourite series. It's going to rate up high. And the deluxe version with a couple of added characters and a real battle mode does cement it as probably the best version of Mario Kart ever made. It's fantastic online. It looks beautiful on the handheld mode. 2 controls that you can use with the Joy-Cons. Pro Control is amazing with it. And it is just such a perfect game for the Switch. And it was a great game to launch only 1 month after the console was released. So that is fantastic. Number 2, well, you probably know what 1 and 2 is going to be. It's been fairly obvious for most Nintendo fans and most Nintendo people, but number 2, Super Mario Odyssey, would have claimed number 1 most years. But yes, I did enjoy the adventures with Mario and Cappy, going around all the different kingdoms and collecting the Power Moons. I don't think I would feel as... I don't think I feel as great about the game as the years go on, because I think a bit of its polish and shine might rub off a bit. Because I think the ease of the game really kind of hit me a bit, because I completed that game in a record amount of time, and I felt a bit disappointed about it. And I know that there's the very hard kingdom at the end of the game, but it's been interesting. But I love the music. The song is fantastic. There was a lot of great little gaming moments in that game too. So with Super Mario Odyssey, it's definitely one of the best games of the year, and it is truly amazing. And we come to number 1, and yes, it is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, released all the way back in March now. I've not done a review for it, and I can now say that review would have just been released an hour ago. So you can come and see that review, finally, of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild by me. And it's just an amazing open world game that changed the Zelda series, possibly forever. I loved every aspect about it, traveling around the different places, exploring, seeing things, getting to know the characters, sort of... Yeah, you can get yourself lost in this world like, Skyrim and other great open world games. And I enjoyed Twilight Princess. I didn't like Wind Waker, and I wasn't a fan of Skyward Sword, and Majora's Mask is a bit too tricky for me. So really the only games I've liked out of the 3D Zelda I really liked is Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, and I think Breath of the Wild joins those 2 titles for that. So I was very, very impressed when it first came out. I could have bought it for the Wii U, but obviously, because running Nintendo Ninja News, you got to get the new console on day 1 for the unboxings and the other stuff. So I was very happy about playing Breath of the Wild, and it is definitely one of my true highlights of this year, and of course for many other Nintendo fans out there and critics alike for this year. So that is... I've talked a lot. That is my top 10 Nintendo Switch games of 2017. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Took me a little while to figure out the numbers. I think the first 3 or 4 was pretty easy, but always that 5 to 10. And other great games such as Puzzle Box Maker by B+ is a good game. And other things like Shovel Knight, Treasure Trove is great. Tiny Barbarian is an interesting title. Monster Hunter in Japan is a great game. Snipper Clippers, I've heard, is fantastic. Star Ghost is another game I was so close to putting in. Rive would probably be my 12th game there. That's an amazing game by the makers. SteamWorld Dig 2, I didn't get to play it, and people raved about that game. And SteamWorld Heist that is coming out, which just came out a few days ago last year into 2017. So many great games coming out and already been released for this year. So that is it for me, and I shall see you next time.